Here's the thing. Check the volume. No, it's not working. Good thing I checked the volume right away. Monday off with the no volume. Fixed it right off the bat. Now, here's the thing. I have this super important video that I'm trying to make, and I've been testing it with Grok because the voice just arbitrarily doesn't want to work sometimes. So I've been checking it today, and it doesn't. So I'm going to have to voice over what Grok says. But essentially, I'm making this video for people that think that the price has got away on them and they don't have any money to invest and they're just going to be poor all their life. I just wanted to draw a straight line as to how you can save your family from, being poor, so to speak. Because I hear and I see people getting coffee all the time at these stores, and they're like, so I had a gig and I had to wait there for 3 hours and it was a coffee shop. So I went and bought a small black coffee and I gave them $5 and they gave me like 35 cents back or something like that. And looked at me like I'm a cheap F that I wasn't tipping. Right. And then I look up at the thing and I see a large is like $7.50. And this is Canadian prices. So I did some averaging. Averaging price is about $6 for a coffee. These places are lined up. These places are lined up all day long. So people are buying $6 coffees every day, I'm assuming. So let's do some, what's going on with this piano thing? Anyway, I'm not going to, who cares? Let's just get into it. And hopefully Grok works. If I saved $6 a day for 1 year, how much would I have? If you save $6 a day, you'd have about $2,190. Assuming it's not a leap year, that's a nice chunk of change for whatever you're saving up for. What's the average CAGR for Bitcoin for the past 8 years? Over the past 8 years, Bitcoin's average compound annual growth rate has been around 70 to 80% based on various estimates from financial data and posts on X. Keep in mind, crypto markets are volatile, so these figures can fluctuate. Okay, so if I took $2,190 and invested it every year for 8 years at a CAGR of 80%, where would I be in 8 years? So if you invested $2,190 each, see what's happening now is that it's not. Can you print this out? Because I have no voice, or you have no voice, so I can't hear you. It sounds like there might be a technical. Hold on, I'm going to ask that again. God damn you, Grok, you're ruining this video. So if I took $2,190 and I invested it every 8 years at a CAGR of 80%, where would I be in 8 years? You mentioned investing $2,190 every 8 years, but based on your earlier question, I think you might have meant each year. Yes, I mean $2,190 every year for 8 years with a CAGR of 80%. Where would we be in 8 years? Got it. Thanks for clarifying. If you invest $2,190 every year for 8 years with 80% CAGR, after 8 years, you'd have approximately $1,300,000. That's wrong. Okay, that's wrong. We're going to do this one more time, Grok. I'm saving $2,190 every year. Every year, I invest that into Bitcoin for 8 years with a compound annual growth rate of 80%. How much do I have in 8 years? All right, let's get this straight. If you invest $2,100 each year for 8 years into Bitcoin with an 80% CAGR, after 8 years, you'd have around $1,300,000. That calculation is based on compounding annual at this rate. Now, this doesn't seem right. This does not seem right, does it? I think he's got it wrong. I'm going to run the numbers again for Grok. Now, he's apparently AI. He knows a lot more than us. So I'm going to try to make it even clearer. Okay, let's do this. I saved $2,100 and not, oh God, I saved $2,190 a year. Now, each year I take that and I invest it into Bitcoin. It has a compound annual growth rate of 80%. How much do I have in 8 years? Okay, so if you save $2,100 each year and invest it into Bitcoin with an 80% CAGR, after 8 years, you have approximately $1,250,000. That's the figure based on annual compounding at that growth rate. See, this is not right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut it down, make sure it clears, and then we'll try it again. Hold on. Okay, you had your math wrong last time, so we're going to start fresh again. Are you there? Okay. I've saved $2,190 every year. I invest that into Bitcoin for 8 years straight at a CAGR of 70%. Now, where are we in 8 years? Let's crunch the numbers. If you save $2,190 each year invested into Bitcoin with a compound annual growth rate of 70% for 8 years, here's where you'd stand. Each year's investment would grow at that rate, so after 8 years, your total investment of $1,750 would grow to about $242,000, assuming you reinvest everything and the growth rate stays constant. Keep in mind, though, that Bitcoin's returns can be super volatile, so this is just a theoretical estimate. Does that help? Or should we adjust the variables? All right, well, let's take it out 12 years. Let's change the duration to 12 years. If we extend that to 12 years with the same $2,190 annual investment with 70% CAGR, your total investment of $26,000 would grow to around $1.9 million. Again, this assumes constant growth, which is unlikely with Bitcoin, but it gives you a rough idea of the potential. Anything else you want to tweak? So this is where it gets wild. See, I've run these numbers and they weren't this high, right? Of course, I go live and they're super high. Now, maybe this is right. Maybe this is right, but I got lower numbers. It took me to about 16 years to get this, and which I thought was hella bullish. So for instance, as a parent, let's say you just wanted to, invest in your child's future. So you saved $6 a day every day, and you just put it in a lump sum, $2,190 into Bitcoin for, 12 years, you would have $1.9 million. I know that seems crazy. And these numbers are a little bit off, but you can do it yourself if you have Grok as well. So let's change the duration to 16 years. Extending it to 16 years with the same $2,190 yearly and 70% CAGR, your total investment of $35,000 would balloon to $15.1 million. Remember, this is theoretical and Bitcoin's performance can be wild, so take it with a grain of salt. What's next? So that is absolutely insanity. So I'm going to run the program again and see where it goes, just to see if Grok's math is all off. I save $2,190 a year. I invested into Bitcoin for 8 years at a compound annual growth rate of 80%. Where are we in 8 years? Now he's not even listening to me. Are you there? Did you take a nap or something? No nap needed. Okay, let's start again. Are you ready? I'm saving $2,190 a year for 8 years straight, investing it in Bitcoin every year with an 80% CAGR. Where are we in 8 years? If you save $2,190 each year and invested in Bitcoin with an 80% CAGR for 8 years, your total investment of $17,500 would grow to about $441,000. Keep in mind, Bitcoin's returns are unpredictable. Is this not a different number than we got last time? Well, that's a different number than you had before, but let's take it out to 12 years. Yeah, the higher CAGR changes things. For 12 years at 80% with 2190, your total investment of 26.2 would grow to around $3.4 million. Same caveat applies. Bitcoin's volatile. Need to adjust anything else? These are wild. So now we're going to get super crazy because the reason I'm making this video is for my sister's family. There's 6 of them. And every day, they and the kids go to some coffee shop. I don't know what it is. And they get a silly coffee. They get us, and each of them are spending $6 on this stupid coffee. Some of them are buying stupid shit there, like the things you dip in coffee. Who knows? Little snacks or whatever. But let's just say they all buy one coffee at $6. Now that's $24. Now, this is going to be heartbreaking, really. So let's say, okay, let's change the scenario. I'm saving $24 a day for a year. How much do I have? If you're saving $24 a day, that adds up to about $8,700. That's assuming 365 days and there's no missed days. What's next? So now I'm going to take that $8,760. I'm going to invest it in Bitcoin every year for 8 years with a compound annual growth rate of 80%. Where are we in 8 years? I think you meant $8,760. If you invest that amount each year in Bitcoin at an 80% CAGR, your 8 years, your total investment of $70,000 would grow to about 3.5 million. Bitcoin's returns are still risky. So this is just an estimate. Good so far. That's in 8 years. Assuming this is right. The numbers are so wild, right? This is just a family going to get coffee every single day. And listen, some of those days, they're blowing way more money on even more stupid stuff. But let's just keep it at that. We're at 8 years. Let's go up to 12. Change this duration to 12 years. For 12 years at 80% CAGR with $8,760 yearly, your total investment of $105,000 would grow to around $27 million. Again, Bitcoin's volatility makes this theoretical. Anything else to adjust? Bruce Mai, where's this CAGR coming from? What has Bitcoin's average CAGR for the past 8 years been? Over the past 8 years, Bitcoin's average CAGR has been around 70% to 80% based on info from the web. Posts on X suggest it varies, but that range gives you a ballpark. Want more details, trends, or specific years? Well, let's go back. Let's take it 10 years. What's Bitcoin's average CAGR for 10 years? For the past 10 years, Bitcoin's average CAGR has been 70% to 132% according to web data. Recent posts on X show some fluctuation, but that's general range. Does that help? Do we need more specifics? So this is taken into some massive bullish years, right? And so if we were to do a CAGR on 2025, I would assume it's at like 10% or something like that. God forbid you get 10% returns. So, I mean, if we extend that out to 2025, we'd have a proper CAGR of this year. But let's sandbag this situation at 70%. Let's sandbag it to 40%, right? 40% diminishing returns over such and such things. And we're going to use my sister's family as a proxy here. If I invested $8,700 every year for 8 years at a CAGR of 40%, where would I be in 8 years? If you invest $8,700 each year for 8 years at 40% CAGR, your total investment of $70,000 would grow to about $227,000. That's assuming steady growth through Bitcoin. Returns can vary. Sound good, or should we tweak it? $250,000, 8 years. That's kind of sandbagging the 10-year and 8-year CAGR. Let's change the duration to 12 years. So now your kids are 12. And you've been doing this for 12 years. For 12 years at 40% CAGR with $8,700 yearly, your total investment of $104 would grow to around $664,000. Keep in mind, Bitcoin's performance isn't guaranteed. What else can I help you with? So that's a sandbag kegger. Your kids are 12. You've saved $20 a day. $20 a day, $24 a day. Like, I'm pretty sure that most people lose $20 a day somehow buying stupid crap, right? And that's $20 a day. Like, we don't, that is still, we started at $6, right? So $6 is basically couch change. You can find $6 of couch change probably every day. I'm sure it would dry up eventually, and you'd get a lot of crumbs and everything. I've actually looked for change in couches before, so I know there's a lot of weird things that are down in those couch cushions. They don't make couches like that anymore. This was probably a hide-a-bed or something like that. Remember those? Those like little death traps. Then getting them in was kind of like reversing a transformer. It's like, it's not going to. Anyway, that's $6 for, we started out with an 80% kegger. Now we're $20 and a sandbag kegger. JP, this is the big takeaway. If a family is spending $24 on coffee and treats every day, they probably have bigger financial issues. Well, that's true, and I think this is the concept that people have of that have high time preferences, right? Well, so I was having this conversation with the dad yesterday, and he's like, "Well, there's probably more immediate gratification for the daily coffee than there is to wait 8 years or 12 years for this investment to pay off." I'm like, "Really? You think so?" And maybe I'm an outlier, but I don't think there's enough juice in the squeeze for a $6. Listen, I would never get a $6 coffee anyway. I get a $5 coffee the other day. Yeah, I was trapped, right? And I was had I known it was $5 for this little black coffee, I never would have got it. I thought I was just getting a coffee to kill 3 hours with. It's not habitual, but the habitual aspect of $6 a day, if you were to put that into Bitcoin, your entire life would change. And now I'll try to remember that. I'll cut the video off there and make a standalone. But we're going to take a look at some charts here because we have had a little bit of a pump here. So it's not much, but I mean, it could have went down on Sunday. Usually we have a massive dump on Sundays, but we have been bullish in the past little while, and you can see we're still kind of existing slightly in the upper side. We're getting, retesting this 95.5. We can't seem to get over her. Now, one might argue that there is some bearish divergence. We got price action going up, and do I got to press this again? And the MACD going down, and the RSI going down. Kind of classic reversal. Scotty Mo says, my neighbor smokes 2 packs a day. $22 goes for coffee every morning, $5 a drink, and 12 pack every night, 15. That's 42 wasted a day. Can you imagine that? Send him this video, Scotty Mo. See what he says. Like, if anything, if I do nothing in the Bitcoin community, it's just this video, I feel like, is maybe the most important one for everyone that just blows their money. Yeah, cigarettes. It's crazy. People, when I was talking with the dad, he was talking about, how hard it was in the 80s. They had no money. I'm like, you smoked every day. So you did have money. So these things are choices, right? People make choices. Are they going to smoke? Are they going to have a coffee? Are they going to invest in their future? And because of the high time preference, they would rather get the immediate gratification. I get it. We all get it, right? But we've been here long enough, a cycle or two. Maybe there's some 2.5 cyclists in the community. I don't know. I'm not sure. But we've been here long enough to see that it is the best performing asset in human history. So how can you help people that don't understand, that might think that the price has got away on them? Oh, it's too big. I'm going to, invest in fart coin because I get 1,000x. It's wrong. So I'm just, it doesn't mean it's going to happen. I feel like we're in a kind of bullish little so-and-so. The fundamentals are pretty good. You know, it seems like the institutions have backed the price up to the point where like, back it up, more, it's at 82, more, it's at 80, more, it's at 78. Okay, yeah, that's good. All aboard. And they kind of jumped on. So on the ding dong, you can see we're getting rejected from our channel of Eternal Monotony, which is at 95.5. We threw a little long hair, don't care wick. Stay away from the only coins. Yeah, that's right. I do. There's a strange correlation, Terry Crow, between OnlyFans and meme coins. You know, it's the representation that something is easy, you know, and nothing has to be worked for, you know, and then, you know, then you bring in the whole simp culture and you can see why no one has the strength to invest in a long time or have a low time, you know, gratification, delay it, you know. Anyway, we're getting off topic here, talking about OnlyFans here. I don't know. I'm sure we have OnlyFans in Canada. I always thought it was a States thing. So here we have our channel of Eternal Monotony. We're trying to bust out of it. And this is really like pretty hella bullish. If we can get over 95.5 today or this week, it's basically the breakout. Now I could see us probably doing something like this. Going up. Where is that? That's we're going to see some headwinds at 97.5. Maybe come down, retest it again, then blast off. I could see that happening. TRD Farmer Compound Interest is the eighth wonder of the world. Yeah. Do you think they teach that in school? No. If you go to you know, accounting or what do they call it here? Corporate finance. Yeah, they probably teach it to you there, but they don't. Like, it should be like the subject should be called "Holy shit, people! Look at what this can do." Especially when you're talking to, you know, teens. You know, you do this. You know, instead of going at lunch to the coffee shop and buying a trinket or $6, he just, you know, invest it into Bitcoin. Will it happen? Some people will. I mean, I like to think that some people will see this video and maybe it'll change their lives for the better, you know, and they'll say, you know, one day I saw this weird video. I saw a pile of money on a thumbnail. I clicked it and, you know, it really opened my eyes. You know, what's the percentage of people that their eyes will be open? Low, but it doesn't matter. We're here, you know, helping one person at a time, one subscriber at a time, one like at a time. It's a grind. It's not for everybody. On the weekly, I guess we see here this breakout point. That's 3 green candles in a row. So bearing in mind, besides entering this old channel of ascension that we kind of busted out of, I mean, there was, yeah, you could argue there's 3 in a row, but there was volatility on this second candle and it closed red. So we're going to follow the rules. We're going to follow the rules. The last time we had 3 in a row was this massive jump up from 68, and then we kind of closed it at 97. That's arguably $30,000 in 3 weeks. It's crazy. For some reason, it doesn't feel that big, but man, that's big. That's like 40% from where we were, really. Now, another bullish metric here, if you can see down here, you know what I also learned today? For some reason, I got this new trackpad because the other one stopped clicking. Just out of the blue, stopped clicking. You know, the mouse moved, but it wouldn't click. So I have to go about buy a new one. And somehow I turned on head, like I can haptic. I can move the mouse with my head. I don't like that. My head's moving way more than my fingers. I had to shut that off. I don't know if anyone's come up against that. That's when I feel closer to boomers. I'm like, what's going on with that? Hey, because there was a moment there where I didn't know what was going on. Then I was like, wait a second. Is my mouse? No. Is my mouse moving? Is my head moving my mouse? It's like, you know, those 2 seniors that they don't know they're being recorded. Anyway, now look at this bullish metric here. The weekly MACD is about to cross bullish. So let's fractaliciously speak about what happened the last time she crossed bullish, which was right here. We pumped up to our, you know, arguably our last all-time high. We pumped with that and then some. But let's just take it at 64%. 64%. Now, in order for this to cross, we'd have to maybe break out probably here. Let's call it 98.3. 98.3. Let's see where 63% from 98.3 would take us. Closer down here. Make it a little more of an eye chart here. 60. Oh, I'm off the thing. It's not big enough. Okay, way down here. 63%, or was it 68? Let's go 68 because we're a little favorable to the bullish side here. 68% would take us to, am I off the goddamn screen again? Come on. Take her down. Okay. 68% with a MACD cross, fractaliciously speaking, throwing back to when we got from 60 to 90. Where would that be? Let's start from here. 68%. Are we good? Yeah, we're good here, finally. 163K. 163K, if we fractaliciously speak about the last time we had this bullish MACD cross, we saw 68%. Now that would take us to 160K. Would people be happy about it? Yeah. With a caveat of not enough. We all know that, right? It gets to 160, people would be like, what about 200K? Because it just never goes high enough for big corners, right? And even at 200K, it'd be like, can you hear that? The itching of the beard? 200K, eh? What about 250? I heard 250. I heard some Chinese guy talk about 250. What's that guy's name? He kind of talks like this. Bitcoin's going to 250K. Who's that guy? Samson Mao or something like that? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Even at 250K, right? What about 300K? Hey, I guess the 250, why not 300? You know how things work. Anyway, I feel like this week's probably going to be bullish. And if you have people that are wasting their money on coffee or anything like that, cigarettes, send them to this video. Straighten their ass out. You like and subscribe and share this